Okay, anyway, so getting everything done. Still haven't had a shower, but it is getting sunny, so I'm hoping like about 1 we'll have at least some lukewarm water so that I can wash as much as I can. Anyway, we're getting the compost, secondary compost done today, which I'll show some video and stuff on. Yeah, it's been pretty hard since the goat thing. So here's the bottom line about the goats. So we wake up, I don't know if it was Tuesday or Wednesday morning last week, and all the goats had been slaughtered. And I knew right off from being on farms before. Plus, I had been recommending that all the animals have night pens and that, we take them out to graze into smaller areas, more controlled. This is what I've done in the past. I've done it with turkeys. I've done it with sheep, cow. So anyway, nobody here was interested in that. Might be like too much work. And so the guy that owns the land has got his own major issues, and I don't really think wants people here. It's kind of on his end as a horde. We're trying to create something else, the outdoor educational center, but there's a lot of inner opposition that hasn't really been brought to the table or communicated about. So there's a lot of passive aggressive behavior. The other guy who's supposed to be kind of the head of, this idea and operation just turned out to be like a giant shit ass, or what my dad would call a rat's ass. No game, got no balls in the game, and is kind of left some of us in a dangerous situation because of the events that have followed. So the goats get slaughtered. They're all dead. I knew it was a mountain lion from the get-go. Sucked all their blood out, even licked, the carcasses clean. There was only one that was torn open. The hunter tracker guy that came, awesome guy's like 80. Been doing this like 50 years. He said that the cats need vitamin K from the liver. So they will just, viscerate with their nails and, eat out the liver and always suck the blood. And he said male mountain lions always just suck the blood. Sometimes that's all they'll eat is the blood. They'll just suck it like a vampire. So anyway, he came out and I got to have a good conversation with him. Amazing guy. And so maybe we'll just talk about that too. So what he does is he has 2 Walker hounds. He has several hounds. And he, once he finds out where the cat is going on the property, then, and the time, so we put up, cameras and monitor the cameras and try to find pictures. But there's really not a big live food right now. And the mountain lion, he's probably pretty full, and it's been really rainy. However, I did find evidence that Peter, the landowner, had thought that his last dog was a shepherd. Somebody stole, but I think I found evidence today. I found an old dog skull that's about that size. So I think his dog got eaten, actually, probably by the mountain lion a couple of years ago, whenever the dog went missing. Anyway, so the tracker, what he does is that once they determine where the area is, they have pictures of bear, mountain lion, or whatever else it is, then they need time frames. And so then they, narrow down the time frames where the cat's coming in or the bear's coming in. And then what he does is then he'll put his dogs there, and the dogs lay there and they're super quiet. And then they wait to ambush the bear or the mountain lion, and then game on. They start, hounding out. And then he knows he has to jump up and run with his gun. And then they corner them, and then the sad part is that they usually kill them. So, there's 2 stories here. There's a story of the mountain lion doing what the mountain lion needs to do to survive. And the other story is the farm and the negligence of all the people here, including myself, for not pushing more to secure the goats. We now have to kill a mountain lion. We have to have a mountain lion killed. because we couldn't secure our animals. So, there's a lot of victimization here of, oh, what's happened to us, these people, but, we're negligent, bottom line. So, anyway, so then, so we're in the process of that right now. And the other thing, too, that really worries me is the main guy who thinks he knows everything. Oh, yeah, I know everything. Oh, yeah, I've hunted. I know it was bear that, they all were against me and kept saying that it was bear that killed the goats just to be against me, even though there was no facts to support that it was a bear. Anyway, in the end, I was right. So, that guy left the land like 2 days ago to go wash his laundry and hasn't come back. And he's the one that supposedly knows how to set up snares and hunt and done all this kind of hunting. And he's just like ran with his tail between his legs off the land. And he's the head guy that, like I'm kind of reporting to and that Dr. Lindy's reporting to. And he's like totally fucking abandoned us. Because I sat down and had a talk with him that said, like mountain lion, big male mountain lion roaming around here, could come after my dog, could come after me. I mean, could come after Lindy, could come after the other dog. Like, we're in a really serious, dangerous situation here. Like, mountain lions don't care if you're people. They'll eat you too. They don't give a fuck. So, after that happened, like we have an escalation of danger. And so everywhere I go, there's a lot of overgrown property. I have to be really tentative now. And just really, because it could jump out at any place. We don't know where the other two carcasses are that it dragged off. So I keep looking in the trees and smelling and looking for flies, but it's been rainy. So it's been almost impossible to track that kind of stuff down or even know where it came from or is. So after the goats got slaughtered, we tried to wake the head guy up that, Lindy and I sort of report to wake him up to come and help deal with the goats. Well, on top of it, he's supposed to have walked a native way and learned ceremony and all this other stuff. He wouldn't get out of bed. So I went out and put tobacco prayer on all the goats. And then I did a prayer smoke, trying to offer, a change on the land, like more unity instead of people operating against each other, like really in a passive aggressive way, like zero communication. And I've been pretty battered and abused during this trip. And I just try to keep staying focused on, what the outcome would be. Like if people could come here, or even Lindy having some cold frames to feed himself. There's no food being grown here. Now all the goats, if shit went down that they could have ate, are not eatable. Hold on one second. Okay. So we did that. I was hoping that we could just dig holes and bury all the goats. The goats have been dead like 24 hours. But it took a turn for the worst at that point. And so the guy on the land that kind of owns the goats decided that he was going to butcher them all. Even though they've been setting in their own juices for over 24 hours, they were killed in just a really fucking horrible way. I mean, some of the goats were like totally, their eyes were open. You could just see the terror. I mean, they died with terror on them. It's not the kind of meat I really want to eat. And this might have been kind of the last push, for maybe more vegetarian veganism, and just raising goats for milk, and in the future. But anyway, so because, there were something like 7 goats that needed to be slaughtered, it took 3 days to complete it. I had even gone up and asked, kind of our head guy to stop the whole process because I grew up hunting. I had friends that hunted in my teenage years. I've walked the native path. I've farmed. I've raised fryers, slaughtered them for sale. I've helped with sheep operations, organic slaughtering. Like, so, it's not like I'm making shit up, but every place that I have ever been in my life with people and teachers and education and spiritual, physical, across the board, the one thing is that is always taught is we don't eat the dead. So it just kind of, the fact that these goats were being slaughtered and then bagged and to eat and put into the freezer. Mind you, while there's parts, this is the other problem, there's parts strewn all over, right? And mountain lions don't want anything dead, but the bears do, and it's fall. And even the hunter guy said, like, now you got a bear problem, with all this shit everywhere. Because they wanted to keep the horns and the heads from the goats to rot. I mean, just like to have it, it's just, it's when all of it, because we're in danger, should be thrown in a hole. So anyway, the secondary compost we're making today contains all of the internal organs, some of the feet, other things that are allowed to be buried. And I'm going to put them in the compost so that there's like zero smell, no flies, nothing to attract anything. And yeah, so they were even processing the animals 3 days after, and they still had guts and stuff in them. So I have been pretty fucking traumatized. I thought the bee sting by the meat bee hive was epic, but this whole thing. So today, I've taken a couple days off from talking or making videos because I've just been kind of, I think, in shock. And I've tried to communicate. I've tried to explain things, and I think that, let's just say that it's aiding, and I think the land is cursed. I was talking to a native guy and something about these areas. He wouldn't tell me like the whole thing, but so I think we're just implying more. I mean, we just implied cannibalism, like serious cannibalism, to the goats. So anyway, now I've just really decided, like, with the danger of the mountain lion, nobody's really fucking doing anything about it. And like, we have to pretend like, it's not there. It's the elephant in the living room. Just a lot of things. I just really have to leave. Because as a woman, I have no equal here. And they don't really want to listen to me because they just would rather argue with me because I'm not their whore and I'm not their mother. So it's complicated about where I fit in. So they're trying to treat me like a man, how they would treat another man. And it's just, abusive. And I know they're sick. There's alcoholism and, like shit that became apparent after I'd been here for a while. But, yeah. But I'm gonna, in all of this, I'm gonna try to finish what I can before I leave. Because I always, no matter what, want to leave wherever I've been better. And it may not seem like that to the people at the time, but the land knows, the house knows, we know wherever I've been, that I've tried to do the best for the highest and greatest good, and always the best for nature, and always the best for trees, and always the best for the animals. So, yeah, be heading out of Azalea this week, back into Reno, into the mix, and I guess back into the mix of working on people and waking them up and fixing their problems and diseases and all the different layers of that. And then we'll just see what happens next. But I told Dr. Lindy that I was going to make videos and that I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to cover shit up. I'm not going to lie about things. I'm not going to cover my own shit up, or lie about it and make things seem like they're nicer than they are, because I think people really need to like get out of the whole new age hoo-hoo, think positively, and really take a look at what's going on with communities. I've been on over 27 communities, ashrams, biodynamic farms, permaculture stays, all kinds of different spiritual stuff, food communities, water communities. And I have not found one that you don't have to compromise yourself a lot to stay on. That there is more maybe darkness, lack of integrity, selfishness, sickness that is prevalent. And I think that's because fucked up people isolate themselves. They run from their reality, and they all end up in communities, and they can't face any kind of reality. And this is generalizing, but a lot of them can't even get the work done. Like, I outworked 3 men on the property. Outworked them, outbilled them, outthought them. Just, and I'm being chased out of here. Like, I'm the key, the food. You die, no food. I don't care if you have 40 acres. All those elk are going to be gone. Shit goes down, everyone around here will shoot all those elk, and you are not going to have any food. You're going to eat your fucking dog. I just don't get food. I don't know. I just, Americans are kind of, I don't know, running their own program of self-deception and sickness and escapism, and want to put the buck on someone else, or want to listen to a lot of things like these things you should listen to are important. I mean, do you have your own brain? Can't you critically think? You're just going to accept whatever it is. Yeah, it's like unbelievable. I have to say that when I was growing up, I didn't think I had an amazing dad who was raising me. But the older I get, the more I realize like how fucking amazing my father was. He could do anything, and he was a stand-up man, and he was funny and smart and could cook and just show up and get it done. Taught me how to have my own mind, not follow along. To choose a life where, that I don't get married and pregnant young, and I educate myself, and I have worldly experiences. And that I stand up and speak my mind and have integrity and stay the path and don't give up. And work hard. Work hard. Because life is short and nothing's for free. And the nothing for free is that I wouldn't want free if I couldn't put something into it. So we were laughing the other day about, Richard Allen Miller. I was at his house a couple of days ago, and he said, well, what's your best tool in your tool bag? And he goes, your attitude. I said, no, my shovel. My shovel is the one tool I would not part with in my tool bag, and the first tool I need, because I can do anything with a shovel, including kick some ass, beat those dumbasses over the head with my shovel. Okay, so anyway, I'm doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is because I want people to experience real life and what happens in real life. And my Bobido, my native teacher, used to say, it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. So you face it and you deal with it as it is, in the way that you need to deal with it, moment by moment by moment. And what it is and what it's going to be is what you are doing right now in the present moment that is going to create it. So it's all about now, but it's all about not making things good and running away from things. But facing them and feeling the emotion from them and the experience from them, and the good, the bad, the ugly. Life's a roller coaster. You better strap yourself in, sit down, and periodically raise your hands up in the air. Ah! And then on the scary parts, grip on. But one thing for certain, there is no paradise on earth. But the good news is that if we can get a grip, there could be. We could effortlessly and easily return the whole planet to paradise on earth, where there's food everywhere and food growing everywhere. If we all kind of got together and started working together, and that was a goal. Garden of Eden for the whole earth and for all people. Super easy. Could happen. Anyway. Deeply, deeply sad. Thanks for listening. More to come.